Okay, looking at this unit, customers reported it's knocking the overloads out as soon as you reset them. So we've got 3 amp clamps on each of the 3 phases, and we're going to turn it on and see what happens. I have checked it to ground to earth. I don't think it's shorted out. And we've got 2.4 ohms across each phase, but that's going to be the sum of the compressor windings and the fan motor winding, so it doesn't look like any, and they were balanced, so it doesn't look like one of the windings is burnt or anything. So it's possible this thing seized up. It's a 5 horsepower. I think they're a PLG 500 something or other. You've got an oil pump on there, but it's the same block they do the 2 horsepower ones in, and I think they've stretched it too far. A lot of these that are every one of these I've seen has been trouble. Put it that way. The other thing is it's probably out of its application, because I think it's actually a freezer compressor, and it's being run as a it's freezing when it's making ice, but it's a chiller effectively when it's cooling milk in the tank. So it's probably running out of its design envelope anyway. Right, anyway, there's enough witter in. Let's see what happens. This one's got peak hold on it, so it peaked 72. The other ones were running about 60 amps. No heat in the discharge. So I don't even think it was pumping slowly, I think it's just seized up. What we might do is swap the phases and see if it will go the other way. I've had that work sometimes, and then it will knock and bang because it might have snapped a rod and jammed itself up. So we'll try that just for interest. Okay, we'll swap the phases on the contactor because that was the easiest place to do it. Swap 2 of the phases over so that this will now run the other way. The fans will actually go around the other way as well, but we're not bothered about that. So let's see what it does. Well, I'm going to say it's snapped a rod and jammed up, because that fairly jumped then. And I bet if we swapped them back it'd probably do the same again. Right, so let's press that in, because its milk's still warm. Turn that back on, so that one keeps running. So there's absolutely no airflow through here. That should be flowing this way. It's sucking air in there. Blowing it out the top. But the condenser's got so much dust in it. I don't know why idiots put these things in the loft. They should be outside somewhere where you can wash them out with a hose. But yeah, it's going to need a new compressor. Probably do the same again and put one of them on. Well, that's better. Last time we put a tag, it's a 4568Z I think, on there. I put a core dryer on there, replaceable core dryer filter, because I've had these when they fail. I've done them before where they chuck so much wear metal out into the system that we put a rebuilt compressor on there, and it blocked the filter up, and the thing cycled on and off on the LP, and the customer didn't notice until it killed the new compressor. So I've learnt my lesson with these. They get a big filter dryer in there to catch all the shit that comes out of these. It's going to be full of it if it's chewed up the conrods. Luckily it's on a RS45 refrigerant, even though it's still got the 22 sticker on there, so all the O-rings in the solenoid valves should be okay. We're going to need to put a new sight glass in, because we'd end up doing away with the little flare dryer. And the way this was done, they've teed it down here, so that one goes up here through the dryer, so that's filtered, and then this where they've teed it goes up here, runs off. One goes to the tank, one goes to the ice builder, and the one that goes to the ice builder's got no filter in it, which is madness. There you go. Yeah. But looking at the state of it, I might, when I look at a price for a whole new condensing unit, I might see what a housed one would cost, and then I could just drop some pipework down the wall, bung it outside where you can wash the condensers out with a hose once a month or whatever, or every 6 months, and they're not out of sight where they get forgotten. And we just have to extend the cable, so it needs a bit of armoured. Actually, that's probably enough cores in there. A lot of the housed units have got a contactor in anyway, so you would just need to run your 3-phase neutral down to them. Anyway, let's get the lid on this, get the air compressor out, and we can blow the condenser out on that one. We'll do them both while we're here. So that one's going on and off on the pressure switch, which is probably what this one's done, probably why it's died. Whoever's worked on it before has cut the wires off the mister module, which should turn this off if it gets too hot. So it's got no safeties on it at all, it just runs until it dies, and that's the pressure switch is operated. Okay, we've got that flow now. It's still blocked. It's running better, but it's still blocked up. It really wants the fans taken off, probably in there, washing out with a hose. But the guy's office is underneath here, so you fill all the computers up with water. So might be able to take the fans off and blow it out. Need a bigger air compressor really. Anyway, this one, I just thought I'd better check to see how much gas it's got in there, just like the standing pressure. And we've got 45 psi. Well, this is like an R22 style refrigerant, so it's quite warm up here. It should be well over 100 standing pressure really. It's got a leak in the system, so the chances are this leaks, and this has been going on and off on the low pressure switch. If it's a small leak, it's probably pumped all its oil out, and that's around the system, and there's not enough oil to bring it back to these because they're up in the loft. And it's probably the oil level's dropped down low enough that it's run a bearing, and that's why it's stopped. R22, it would need to be -5, -6 for that to be the right pressure, and no part of the system's that cold. The milk in the tank's at +5, the ice build is just around 0, so and it's like an oven up here, so it's got a leak in it somewhere. Right, we're in the tank room. I've checked the expansion valves in the ice builder, and they didn't show any leaks. That's a favourite place for them to leak. We're just going around the tank, and that is off the scale. And that is where the temperature sensing probe comes out from inside the jacket. The other favourite place you can check is where there's a bung here where you push the probe in, or even around the tap, because it's only tack welded. But we're getting something it doesn't like in there. what you get is when there's milk in the tank, the weight of the milk quite often seals the leak back up, so you only get like a little residual bit in the jacket, because this is double skimmed. You've got an inch or two of foam and then the inner vessel where the milk sits, so the leak's got to get through the foam to the outer skin and then find its way out somewhere. It doesn't like that much. So this is grim. This is very grim. Stinks. Rotten milk. Definitely something in there. We'll have a look around the unit as well, just to be sure. It's pissing out of there on the fusible plug. So that's leaking. So we'd need to come back when the tank was empty and confirm whether that's got a leak in it or not.